Welcome back to episode 110 of the Purple Rain podcast. The Chris Moore episode, like I was just remembered by Sutton. God, the Chris Moore days. But this is the Jalen Moore episode of the Purple Rain podcast, and we have news to talk about. So first and foremost, let's get out the way. Where can I find you on Instagram and Twitter at?
Yeah, man. Welcome to everybody watching or listening to the Purple Rain podcast, episode 110. Before I get into anything, I'm gonna let you guys know where you can follow us and everything like that. But go ahead and like the video. Like the video if you're watching on YouTube. Helps us out a ton. You guys know the algorithm on YouTube. We could use the help. Appreciate it, guys. Yeah. But episode 110, like you said, the Jalen Moore episode. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def, like you see down there below. And then my guy SimplyAS10 over here, you can find him on Twitter just at SimplyAS10. And then on Instagram at simplyas10.prod. And you can find us together, this channel, the Purple Rain Podcast, on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast, like you see down there below. Again, thank you guys so much for coming out to yet another episode, another installment of this show. Man, we can't get enough of you guys. And, you know, we're loving the Rain Gang. We love the Rain Gang. We can't get enough of you guys. We love you guys. We just appreciate you guys. I got to put that out there, right?
Yeah. And the love we've been getting on the past couple episodes has been lovely, chubbly. Thank you very much. Appreciate all of it. I believe, 2.2K views in the last video. So thank you deeply. And I'm just going to let you get into it, bringing out people who are in the live chat right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys know how we do here. If you're watching live, the Purple Rain Podcast, you will be brought up on screen each and every time, man. We don't miss that at all. We don't miss that. But listen, if you're not watching live right now and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much for watching this episode of the show. You know, the replay gang shows so much love in the comments after the fact. So if you're part of the replay gang, go ahead and do your due diligence. Put your hashtag replay gang down in the comments with whatever you have to say about this episode. Anything. We appreciate you guys. But who's here in the live chat? I see I got my guy Dre in here. Says, what's up, Purple Rain Gang? What's going on, Dre? Ryan is in the building. He says, Hollywood is weird. No cap. We're going to get around to some Hollywood talk. Don't you worry. Those of you guys who clicked on the video for us to talk about Hollywood, don't you worry. We will be getting to that. We will. Dylan is in the building. Says, what's up, boys? What's going on, Dylan?
What's going on, Dylan?
Daquan in the building. Says, what's up, gang? Daquan. Got my guy Jay. Good vibes. What's going on, man?
Very good vibes.
Don DiMolo. Okay, my guy. Back in here. Appreciate you for swinging through. Rob Jack in here. He says, I'm going to start liking the videos and all that when you guys start acknowledging the comments more and engaging with our questions. Good pod, though. Rob Jack.
Thank you. We have our whole question segment.
Yeah.
You stay around for
you stay tuned. Stay tuned to the question segment at the end because we will bring you up. I remember you, Rob Jack. Let's see. Sports Gaming YouTube in the house says, what do you guys think about Bradbury? Of course, he was just released today by the Giants. We'll touch on that a little bit later in the episode.
For sure. It was tasty.
Yeah, for sure. Xavier Peterson in the house. I got my guy Elix in here.
Ooh.
Lisa's in here. Sean, All Day Esco, Jabari Cruz Ellis. We got NFL Prod in the building. Peter is in here. Says, first one I'm here live for. Welcome, Peter.
I was going to say, I didn't recognize the name. Welcome, Peter. Hope you enjoy.
Appreciate you. Also want to give a big shout out to everybody who's watching live on Twitter right now. We just started going live on Twitter a couple episodes ago. So if you're watching live on that platform, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 110. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Listen, guys, we have a couple of things that we want to go ahead and get into today. So why not just get right into it, right? Let's do it.
Ready.
All right. So Title of the video, Jarvis Landry to the Ravens, ?
Yeah.
Could that happen? Will it happen? Should it happen? These are the questions that we want to ask you guys here. Let's get into it, like my guy Alex said. First of all, let's just talk about, would Jarvis Landry be a good fit for the Ravens? Now, I'll start here, Alex, and I want to kind of get your opinion on it, and then we'll see what the Rain Gang is talking about as well. Jarvis Landry really is not a good fit for the Ravens when you talk about what they've been clamoring for, what Ravens fans really want, that X receiver, that 6 feet and above receiver, that guy who can just go up and get the 50-50 balls, somebody who can play on the outside, line up on the outside consistently, and win matchups. That's not necessarily who Jarvis Landry is. Jarvis Landry predominantly plays more in the slot. and he kind of
Indeed.
gets his money there, you know. And we have a lot of slot receivers, one would argue, right? We just got rid of one in Hollywood Brown, but Rashad Bateman plays in the slot. You know, Duvernay,
Duvernay, Prochet,
Tylan
Wallace.
Wallace, like
All of them
Prochet,
do. All
all
of them
these
do. Let's
guys,
just
they're
say it.
all
All of
playing
them.
the slot. So like, why add another slot receiver to the mix? Yes, I get he is a veteran wide receiver, but why add another receiver into the mix? Just with that information alone, Alex, do you think that the Ravens should bring in a Jarvis Landry, invest money into him?
And I look at what we need now as well is a big play receiver, a guy who can pop the top off the defense, because we lost our speedster, our home run threat, our big play receiver in Marquise Hollywood Brown. And you would
Yeah.
sit back and think, well, no, I mean, Jarvis doesn't fit that. Um, but I honestly wouldn't mind it. Yeah, watching him run routes was pure ecstasy. Like, there's something about a really good receiver running routes, and he was running routes that was just cutting up defenders. That hell, I think our guys could learn from him. But once again, I'm gonna go back to it again. Like, what would he really add to that we don't have? And I think about it too. It's like he could be taking away snaps from other guys, but I think if we were to get him, you can incorporate all these receivers. It's not that hard. But I look at it from like another standpoint, like 43 touchdowns. How many touchdowns do the receivers on our team have right now? I think Duvernay has 2, Bateman has 1,
Right.
and that's really it.
Yeah.
So I mean, from the veteran aspect, yes, but with everything that's left out there, I mean, we've talked about it: Julio, Odell, Jarvis, and Will Fuller. It's kind of like this is what happens when you have your receiver request a trade. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I absolutely agree with you there. One reason why I would say that the Ravens should possibly bring in a Jarvis Landry, like you said, number one, the route running, but also just the red zone ability as well. You know,
yeah,
we know that Marquise Hollywood Brown, he was actually really good in the red zone. You know, he was a threat in the red zone. He was really good straddling the back line, extending plays, making sure Lamar Jackson had an option. He would find him. He would find Hollywood Brown. We need another guy like that. I think that Jarvis Landry could be that guy. He could be that guy, that extra guy to get open. Yeah. You know Mark Andrews is going to be a threat in the red zone. Why not have another guy in Jarvis Landry who's a very mature, tough, gritty player? You know, he can create space. You know, he has an array of moves. Like, his agility is still there. You know, it's not like he's an older guy.
Even last year, he showed it.
Right.
He showed it.
He did. So, like, for that purpose, like, in the red zone, I think that we could use him. Because if you look at the last 2 seasons, we were not very, very good in the red zone. At least not nearly as good as we should have been. We were not finishing with touchdowns nearly as much as we should have been. They were field goals.
It never felt like we could really finish off drives sometimes. Yeah. Especially last year. And I know everything that was going on, but even the first game against the Raiders, our touchdowns, they came from the Tyson Williams on 4th and 1. It was Lamar freaking playing. I don't know what he did on that one touchdown in Hollywood where he just juked out the whole defensive line and threw a dart.
Yeah.
It's like we depend way too much on Lamar Jackson, like Greg Roman always does. That's his get out of jail free card, because the plays he makes, no other quarterback makes them, and get in the end zone as well. So it would definitely help out his job a lot. And I don't want to get Greg Roman happy, because last year the Browns did run a couple of jet sweeps with Jarvis Landry as well. So who knows, if we were to sign him, he'd be running some of them here too.
Do you know, precisely or kind of how much Jarvis Landry would probably command if he, were to come to Baltimore?
I thought it was like in the 20s. But you got to think, as the time goes on, kind of like with Justin Houston last year, you can only command so much.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's at right now. I mean, I would guesstimate maybe could be like a 10 mil deal for 1 year, maybe some incentives. I'm not too sure. Yeah. But I don't think he's getting anywhere near that 20 million he was looking for.
Right. It kind of feels like if the Ravens were to make a deal with Jarvis Landry, the deal, it would be good for both parties, but Jarvis Landry would definitely have to want to come play for the Ravens. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
it wouldn't be like a no-brainer, like, oh my God, they gave me the best deal possible. It would,
Right.
like, incentives, that sort of thing. So if the guy wants to win, then hey, maybe he should consider taking a
Yeah.
deal. Hi, exactly. But besides that, we do have our first super chat donation of the night. This one coming from a regular Purple Rain
Thank you,
pioneer
Yolanda.
herself. We appreciate Yolanda. Thank you so much for making it rain here on episode 110 of the Purple Rain podcast. Says, of the remaining free agent wide receivers, if not Jarvis, then who would you want us to sign for the veteran presence?
I think Julio makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna speak with my mind and not my heart, because my heart would say Odell. Because God, I'm thinking of the touchdown celebrations he would have here. But I think Julio would make the most sense, honestly.
Yeah.
This fits the mold of a Ravens veteran receiver signing.
No, I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, we talked about just now, like 5 minutes ago, how Jarvis Landry isn't really a fit because of like the type of receiver he is, like the archetype receiver he is. But Julio Jones perfectly fits that mold of who we need, So it's like, if not Jarvis, then Julio. But I feel like the reason why we do say Jarvis is because he is younger and, he is more durable at this stage in his career than a Julio Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do see in the chat, though, some people are saying they would like a healthy Odell. Listen, I'm just biased because what he did with the Rams last year was it was impressive. He definitely showed that there's a lot in that tank, but that's his second ACL injury.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely something to keep your eye on. That's scary.
Right. I mean, it's like, I would love Odell just as much as the next Ravens fan would. And yeah, he had a lot of good moments last year, but the moments are only good until they're not anymore, And you kind of saw that, like, he was doing really well, scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl, the first touchdown in the Super Bowl, and then goes down. Now, say if the Rams were to lose that game, if there would have been some sort of narrative along the way saying, Odell, he went down early in the game, he wasn't there to help his team, yada, yada, yada. But the fact that they won, you don't hear about that.
No.
But at the end of the day, the best ability is availability. You have to be there for your team. Like, and I just would rather have somebody who has a better track record when it comes to injury history, someone who's just a little bit more durable, because the seasons are not going to get any easier. Last season, last offseason, I talked about a lot how the upcoming season was going to be the longest, hardest season ever. And that's going to be 17 games going forward.
I still hate that extra game. Like, it really did nothing. You got to think about how many backups were playing in these games.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing they got, the best thing that happened was the Jaguars beating the Colts that sent the Steelers to the playoffs. That's the only thing I think it helped out. There was no other stipulations. I mean, the Bengals had their backups playing. The Browns had Case Keenum playing because Baker Mayfield was. It was just, and then you see Ty Bowser get hurt in the 17th game. So
yeah,
it ended up screwing us, but whatever.
Yeah, so we got our guy Gerald in the house. Says, what up, PRP gang? What's going on, Gerald? Appreciate you for coming through. Let's see. Ryan says Julio and Odell are both injury prone at this point at their careers, but Julio is healthy right now at the moment.
That's a great point. That is a great point.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, like I said, we wouldn't be mad at at all at the Ravens going out and getting a Julio Jones, like at all. But seems like the more realistic, the smarter fit would be a Jarvis Landry, at least to me.
And at least we didn't give up a second round pick last year for him either, because that was a terrible trade. Not looking back at it.
Yeah. Let's see. So, yeah. All in all, the Ravens getting a Jarvis Landry, it would definitely help, but I don't know if it would I don't know if it's necessarily the correct fit. You know what I mean? The perfect fit.
It's not like also, Devontae Adams to a Raiders. That's
exactly. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's just like we're kind of getting like an extra, like a veteran wide receiver. We know he can come in, he can produce, that sort of thing. But I don't know if it necessarily puts us over the top, And
the number 11 is available.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, the punter took it. Jordan Stroud. Never mind. Take that back.
Did he? Oh yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, seniority has to win that if Julio were to be signed.
Agreed. Let's see. Just want to see what you guys are saying here in the chat. Let's see. Kayla Sports says Julio was injury prone, but we just need him to be a big body. Injury is part of the game, and it's always a risk.
Especially
Agreed
with their
there,
offense too. It's not like we'd be going his way 15 times a game. Hell,
Right.
probably not even 10 times a game. At most 5 to 7.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one other thing, just kind of circling back to the Ravens being connected to Jarvis Landry. If they were to sign him, hypothetically speaking, of course, nobody really talks about the kind of the rift between him and Marcus Peters, right?
I love it. I love it.
You love that?
The
Really?
homegirl. Hey, what is it? Iron sharpens iron. That's a real John Harbaugh thing. I'm gonna say right there. That's like he probably says that stuff in the locker room. But yeah, I mean, they get in their fights, whatever. I mean, that's history. I don't think he'll sign at this point. If he's really commanded $20 million, he's not gonna be a Raven. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
I've heard a lot of rumors of him maybe going to the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, I'm biased. Another LSU player on the Ravens, but him going back to where he played college, like Tyrann Mathieu, I think that would work too. That'd be Michael Thomas, Olave, and Jarvis. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr. chimes in here, says Jarvis Landry has still got some left in the tank, but it's still the same old, same old. It was predictable Ravens would attempt to go the cheap route with a vet instead of making a significant move like trading for one.
And I want to get your thoughts on this, because here's my problem with this. And I totally agree. Hollywood Brown said he let them know after the season that he wanted to be traded. We had all this time. We had free agency. We saw these receivers go on the trade block. We didn't make one move. We didn't try to move him in any of these trades. I have a problem. Like, if we didn't try to do that, I have a huge problem. Because that means, did you think he was going to change his mind and just want to come back? So you knew we were going to need a receiver, and we did nothing about it until now. Until we're in May.
Yeah. Now here's why I'm not mad at them not trading for a big time wide receiver, knowing that after the season. I'm not mad at them because when you really take a step back and look at what Hollywood Brown was for the Ravens, so his production and everything, yes, he was really good, but at the same time, his production was replaceable. I think it was very replaceable. You know, I think we can get a guy in here who can kind of imitate some of the things that Marquise Hollywood Brown did. Hell, Marquise Hollywood Brown was supposed to be the coveted deep threat on the Ravens, but we really didn't even see him get too many opportunities down the field as it was, you know? So it's like, I feel like we can get another guy, or we probably already have him on our roster. Hell, a Tylan Wallace, you know? We can get some other guys, maybe not with the same speed, but some guys who can catch the ball underneath, get some yak yards, that sort of thing. And we can probably develop, who knows, maybe a Rashad Bateman becomes a deep threat. He has some sneaky speed on him.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I'm going to look and see who was available at the start of free agency real quick. And I want to see, like, realistically, could we have gotten them? So I'm going to go and do that right now because, like, if you've known about this, him winning this for a while, it's like, you did nothing about it. And that kind of, like, pokes a little, like, kind of annoying.
You also got to think, though, like, the Ravens, they know what type of offense they want to be. They know their identity on offense. At least they think they do. They want to be a run the football, you know, run heavy team, run first team. That's what they are. That's what they always kind of have been, you know. So for that reason, I feel like they felt like they didn't need to go out and invest a lot of or any of their assets into a big name wide receiver, which I can understand, especially when you're underneath a Greg Roman run offense. You know what he's going to run. You know what Greg Roman wants to do. It's run by running backs and tight ends. Those are the main two focal points.
Okay, so I'm just going to go down this list. Here's who was available. Christian Kirk, Allen Robinson, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Russell Gage, Zay Jones, Cedric Wilson, DJ Chark, Jakeem Grant. Now, DJ Chark, coming off an ACL injury, got 1 year, $10 million. We couldn't have, if you knew Hollywood was going to get traded, I think that's just me. AJ Green, Juju Smith-Schuster, Jamison Crowder. Just some of the names that were available. Not breathtaking by any chance, but definitely be productive.
Yeah, I mean, and that's my thing. Like, none of those guys would put us over the top, I feel like.
No.
You know?
No.
and that's kind of where I'm not upset. That's why I'm not upset that the Ravens didn't go out and try to trade for anybody like that, because even if we did do that, it wouldn't really put us to where it's not like we're automatic Super Bowl contenders with any of those guys. Is what I'm saying. So,
No, it's not like Devontae Adams. Now we traded for him.
right, exactly. So. Yeah, but we do have about 70 people watching live right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 110 of the Purple Rain podcast. Make sure you guys go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We would appreciate that a lot. We're going to go ahead and switch gears here. Go ahead and get into our second topic of the episode.
Something you feel pretty strongly about. Something you feel
Yes.
very... So can I read it? And then do you want to like just give your opinions on it real quick?
Sure. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is gonna be fun. So you actually texted me this tweet. I believe, what was it, Saturday or Sunday? One of the
I
days.
think it was Saturday.
Okay, so he texted me this tweet saying, "How do you feel about this? It kind of pisses me off." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I didn't see this." It's in the thumbnail. Hollywood Brown says it's not about the targets; it's about the type of targets. I've been in an offense where I've been getting all the attention. I'm excited to get some one-on-one matchups and spread the field out, speaking on his new role with the Cardinals. So
Yeah.
I'm going to let you take it away and just air it all out. Let me know how you feel.
Yeah, man. So just kind of like reading this, like off the top, I wasn't upset until I really thought about like what he was saying, what he was really trying to say here. I'm just going to read it again. He says, it's not about the targets. It's about the type of targets. And he says, I've been in an offense where I've been getting all the attention. Let's just stop right there. Right.
Okay.
So getting all of the attention, I think that is a huge overstatement. There's no validity to that. I don't think. When you look at the Ravens offense, when you really break it down, if you had to rank in a hierarchy, like a hierarchy of who gets the most attention, it's Lamar Jackson, number one. I think we can all agree to that. Number two, it's Mark Andrews. You saw Mark Andrews. Teams were throwing everything they could at Mark Andrews. Linebackers, cornerbacks, safety help. Nobody could stop him. He was still one of the best tight ends in the league. One of the best tight ends in the league on your team, bro. You are not getting all of the attention. You just weren't. He says, let's just continue on. He says, I'm excited to get some one-on-one matchups and spread the field out. Bro, you were getting one-on-one matchups. Yeah, you were double teamed sometimes. Yeah, there was safety help over the top. I mean, that comes with being a deep threat. Congratulations. But you were getting some one-on-one matchups. A lot of times you had problems getting off the press, beating man coverage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you had that opportunity. Like, the only reason why it upsets me is because he acts like he does not have the opportunity. Based off of this quote, it seems like he's acting like he never had that opportunity in Baltimore to get that one-on-one coverage, those one-on-one matchups.
I agree with you. And I
So,
think it had the one-on-one coverage wide open.
yeah. I mean, there were drops too. There were drops.
Bring that up.
Like, we can bring it up. Like, bro, there were drops left and right. You can look at that Lions game. It was right there. It was right there.
Week 18.
Exactly, bro. It's just like, I don't know. And like, kind of the main thing that a lot of people took from this was that, maybe he's saying that he doesn't want to be a wide receiver one here. Yeah, because, I mean, if you take what he said at face value and say, okay, maybe he is telling the truth, right? Maybe he was getting all the attention. So you're saying that, like, first of all, let's put it this way. Compare Marquise Brown to Tyreek Hill just for a second, one quick second, right? Tyreek Hill would never come out and say that he went to the Dolphins because he wanted more one-on-one matchups. No. He would never say anything like that. A wide receiver one, a true dog, would never say that. So, like, that's where
Adams loves a double team, triple. We were triple teaming Devontae Adams. He still scored a touchdown on us.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, what are you saying, Hollywood? Are you saying, like, you want it easier on yourself? You want it easier? Is that what you're saying? Like, this
is interesting negotiation tactic. Very interesting to me, because you're going to, like, I think the first 6 weeks of the production is going to be interesting to see when Hopkins is out, for when he's back in, and see, maybe if it booms or if it busts. I'm really looking forward to all of that, but I'm just going to give my opinion on this like Sutton did. I definitely understand what you're saying. It is what it is. I understand the frustration, because I look at a guy like Mark Andrews. I don't think he's ever come out and talked about whether he is being double team, triple team, quadruple teams, just covered by one guy. He just goes and gets it done. He was double teamed in a play against the Colts. He one hand caught it. Ain't no excuses. He goes and gets it. So then I did send you an article. If you want to bring it up real quick, it was basically Eric DeCosta saying there are guys on the team that they don't want to be here. No, we don't have to let them here. Yeah, here it is. So it was DeCosta talking about the Marquise Brown trade for when it comes up. Guess it's not going to come up. I will pull it up now. But it just was saying that if you don't want to be a Raven, we're not going to have you on the team. So there's that. I know this kind of blew up on Twitter. Multiple fans just letting their feelings known because he's done a lot of talking about us. But I think we should let it go. Yeah, here it is. I don't have a strong feeling for keeping players who don't want to play here. That was the quote, and I liked it. If you don't want to be here, then there's no point because you're not going to give 100%. And it is what it is. So there's that. Your mic's muted, by the way.
Yeah, my bad. But no, you're absolutely right, dude. Like, I think that Eric DeCosta's spot on with this. And of course, he should be. Like, that's how every GM should probably feel. But Marquise Brown, he wanted to get traded from us. And I feel like the reason why he wanted to get traded is kind of like hypocritical in a way, like when you first got to Baltimore, I remember his press conference, he was saying that I'm in Baltimore. I feel like I'll fit really good in the scheme, that sort of thing. I'm a smaller receiver, but going across the middle, try me as a man, this and that, you know what I mean? Like, and now 2-3 years later, he comes out and he's saying, oh, well, I want to go somewhere where I get more one-on-one matchups where it's a little bit easier for me to get open. I just don't. I don't know.
And what doesn't really sit well with me is that this is not what I'm going to pull up what Kali Mamuvid says about how Hollywood isn't the only receiver that complained about Greg Roman, and you're right.
Yeah.
Like this now, it's a lose-lose situation for the Ravens because you just lost a guy who put up 1K yards, but also another guy calling out your offensive coordinator who you basically are just sitting here and defending nonstop. Like when Greg Roman talks about this offense, I have not heard him once take any type of accountability whatsoever. It's always we. It's not I, it's we. Yeah. You're the one calling the plays, bro. Like it shouldn't be the whole team. Like the team is trying to execute as best as they can with whatever piss poor play that you're calling. How just bland vanilla it is. Like at some point, are you gonna get rid of 53 players or one goddamn coach? And it looks like we're getting rid of every player until the coaches now.
Right, and that's where the question still kind of stands, Alex. Just like, how much has to happen? What has to happen? What's the threshold that has to be crossed in order for somebody to hold this guy accountable?
I never in my life have rooted for my team to lose, for a coach to get fired, and that's like in any sport. Like I've seen my team, some of them go through hell. That's not going to change now. I really hope he gets it together because if he doesn't get it together, that means it's going to be another one and done season in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And even at that, I look at the Titans a couple years ago when they had, I think it was Munchak as their coach. They made the playoffs. I think they may have won a game and lost again. And they still fired him because they didn't go anywhere. So why don't you keep the energy with your offensive coordinator who literally shits the bed in every playoff game offensively? Bro, 3 points in a playoff game. 3 points. I get Tucker missed the field goals, but bro, 3 points. That's how do you keep your job after that? Like, and you've put up an average of 11 points in the 3 playoff games you've been in. 11 points. That's less than 2 touchdowns in 60 minutes. Come on.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to say the least. Just talking more about Hollywood Brown here. Let's see. Our guy Jay says Hollywood is not a number 1 wideout. He is at most a number 2. Bateman is better than Hollywood and can do everything. Yeah, I think Bateman definitely gives you more. He gives you a more complete wide receiver than a Hollywood Brown. Like you get speed, you get quickness, you get hands, but you also get size as well. So it's like you're absolutely right there, Jay, my man. I agree with you. And let's see, we have another Robert T. Lewis says Hollywood is right. With this basic offense, it's easy to double Andrews and Hollywood at the same time. What do you think about that?
I agree. And now let me get out of the way. I am rooting for Hollywood in Arizona. I hope he balls out. Hope he gets his
Me
contract,
too.
gets his bag. Because as much as what he's saying this, like he said nothing bad about the fans, like, just how he loves us and has been supporting them. For this, it just is talking about the coaching and like that. I mean, I get it. If anything, as a receiver, would I want to come to Baltimore? Would I want to play in this vanilla-ass scheme, this vanilla-ass offense that hasn't changed in 10 years, 11 years since he's been with the Niners? No, I wouldn't. And like outside of Hollywood last year and Bateman, who else was getting consistent targets as a receiver? It was
Right.
nobody. Like it was either Andrews or it was Hollywood, or it would be Bateman the first drive, and he would never get any more targets.
Yeah. One big thing for me, man, is just like, like you said, very interesting, like negotiation tactics, right?
Yeah.
Like you're literally selling yourself short. You're literally telling media and, everybody else in the world, GMs, hey, I'm not a wide receiver 1. I'm a wide receiver 2. I went to the Cardinals because I felt like I had a good opportunity playing alongside DeAndre Hopkins to get, some open looks. Like that's just not. I don't know. I feel like if they give him a contract offer that way, he can't be upset, right?
Look at Christian Kirk. He was a wide receiver 3 and got 20-some million a year. Maybe that's
You're right though.
Maybe that's why he went to Arizona.
You're right.
Because maybe I'm gonna go with maybe the Texans next year have a bunch of cap. They could throw the absolute bag at Hollywood. He could be getting 25 million a year if he has a great year with the Cardinals. Oh no, they picked up his 5th year option. Never mind. If he has a great 2 years.
And my thing is like no D-Hop for the first 6 games. Like he's really gonna have to ball out. Like those first 6 games is where he's gonna have to earn his money. Honestly, like it's gonna be everything for him. So like I'm definitely rooting for the guy. Like you said, he never said anything bad about the fans. My only problem with that quote, or my biggest problem with that quote, was the fact that he was saying that he got all the attention in Baltimore when that simply was not the case. Like it just was not the case.
Can you bring up Darren's stat real quick for me?
Sure.
Because that right there is just that's the stat you've been asking for, and there it is.
Let's see. Yeah. So he said there was a stat on Twitter. Andrews was doubled 25% of plays and 9% for Brown. The guy is delusional.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, there you have it right there, right? There you have it right there.
Mark
Exactly.
Andrews was double teamed.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and pull up the super chat donation we do have from our guy Travis Dial. Thank you so much for making it rain here. Says Lamar needs to pull a Magic Johnson and say it's either Giro or me that goes. I mean, honestly, I feel like if there's another season that is just like the previous seasons on offense, like where we just kind of come up short, then yeah, I agree. Like if Lamar is playing hero ball and, there's really no progression with the scheme that we're doing, that we're running rather, like I agree.
And I feel like I'm just beating a dead horse, but like if it hasn't worked in other places, what makes you think it's gonna work here? Like what have you seen? Like, oh yeah, like this can definitely keep working. I look at the Niners, bro. It didn't matter if it was Jimmy Garoppolo; they had a good offense going.
Yeah.
Like a literal game manager took them to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Even last year, they made it to the NFC Championship when I don't think they were supposed to. They did it, and us, we can't even. Yeah, there's a difference in offensive masterminds, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see.
Emphasis on mastermind, by the way.
Emphasis.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Travis. We appreciate
Thank
you. Darren says Andrews, Lamar, and run game were much more focused on by the defense. Yeah, I mean, just kind of furthering his point before from that stat. Absolutely. And again, I think that Hollywood Brown, he should do pretty well in Arizona. And I also think that, in Baltimore, we can kind of replace what he was, kind of producing for us. I still think that for sure with the receivers that we have. So I don't think that we should, have any fear that he is gone. It does suck that he said those things, but, I think that we'll be able to move forward just fine without him,
Yeah. We're definitely in the off season right now, in the dead area because we're taking players' comments and making episodes about them now.
Yeah, I mean,
That's how you know.
that's how you know it's off season. Speaking of off season, we do have a couple of key episodes coming up. Last year,
Thursday, I can't wait.
ooh,
That
what's
schedule,
Thursday?
schedule release.
Oh yeah. Schedule release is Thursday. See, I was thinking about the our quarterback tier rankings that we're gonna
Oh,
do.
we
again.
were on two different
Oh yeah.
wavelengths.
Oh yeah. Well, that's how you know we got tons of content coming your way. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and that like button as well for more Purple Rain podcast content. We got our guy Raven Ron in the building. Says, "What up, PRP? We should just get DK or Metcalf. DK's DeKalen Zacharias Metcalf by any means. I would love to get DK. He says Debo or DK. He meant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But all right, I just want to kind of pull up a couple of other things that you guys are saying here in the chat. Make sure that we are getting some good interaction with our live viewers today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the show. Flo Knows says, I don't know. I'm not for this burning your bridge approach towards doing business. If Baltimore went out after trading him and said he really didn't fit, avoided contact, dropped some crucial catches, etc., who would we be for that? Nah, so I'm not for Hollywood burning a bridge, even if it was after the fact.
I think both sides were happy with how it went because getting a first round pick for him is crazy value. I think looking at what the Titans got for AJ Brown. I mean, they're two different receivers, but AJ Brown's put up more in a run first offense. And I think it's shown more. So the fact that, unlike the whole Orlando Brown, how he wanted to be out, kind of with what we got, I still think getting a first round pick for him is very, very good. So I'm not mad at that, and just keeping it in house, they did it the professional way. So I definitely applaud both sides for that.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about what compensation the Ravens got for Hollywood Brown, I mean, Tyler Linderbaum was great compensation. You know, like you lose Lamar Hope in the sense that you don't have the speedy wide receiver anymore, but hey, like we weren't even able to use him all that often because the offensive line couldn't block long enough for him to get downfield, you know? So bringing in a Tyler Linderbaum, and like I said, again, I feel like we can definitely replace the things that Hollywood Brown put on the football field. Adding a Tyler Linderbaum to that mix, I think will be just fine. All right,
I'm excited to see the offensive line. I'll be honest, like just seeing, we actually have like we got some trench boys in there. I like that. That's very exciting.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Lisa Frankel brings up a question here. Says, how will Cliff Kingsbury use Hollywood Brown in his offense? Interesting. Hollywood's new role.
I'm expecting a lot more deep balls because that's what Christian Kirk was doing for them last year. I mean, and even those first 6 weeks too is like, it's gonna be Hollywood, AJ Green, Rondale Moore, and Zach Ertz. So I think he's gonna be the one who probably will see more looks, unless AJ Green just turns back the clock like crazy.
Yeah, and see, I don't really see the Cardinals running a whole lot of like wide receiver screens like we like to do with Hollywood Brown. Yeah, I feel like a lot of his routes are going to be a lot more vertical than horizontal. That's for sure. Yeah. Down the field action, you know, trying to take the top off of the defense, which is what he wants to do. It's what he, you know, wanted to do in Arizona all along. You know, he wants to be Hollywood, and I get that. So hopefully, you know, hopefully Kyler can get the ball to him, but you know, who knows?
Can you pull up Jonathan Washington's comment real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
That one.
When it comes, here we go.
That one's a good one. Like that. The Giro will be making Marty Morningway look like a good offensive coordinator at times. I like that.
Oh man, I remember the days when we would like get rid of our offensive coordinators if they weren't performing. Good times.
Yeah, they would have. Oh my god, the Mark Trestman days. I literally wanted to pull a Plaxico Burress and shoot myself in the freaking foot. That was terrible.
Yeah. Let's see. Cavalier says, yo, Hollywood was undersized to begin with. Blocking not happening. Yak not really happening. Beating man physically not really happening. It was a good trade for everyone. That's a good point.
It was.
It's a good point.
He's an offense, and I'll definitely use him more. So, like I said, hoping for the best.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and when you put it that way, now that I'm thinking about it, like, he is in a a better situation for him. He's in a better situation for him. That's for sure.
And we can cut the whole Antonio Brown to the Ravens talk now. Like, that's gone.
Yeah, no, that's
I don't want to hear it
definitely
no more.
done.
It's over. It's over.
That is definitely done for sure. All right, so
And there's
let's
one more
see.
comment I think that is a good
What's
talking
that?
point. It's
Yeah.
Garnett's comment. And shout out to Garnett. Great follow on Twitter. He said, "What leaves me bothered about the whole situation is we let DJ Chark go to Detroit for 1 year, $10 million. We could have had him, but we decided to hold on to Miles Boykin to the last minute." And just speaking of Miles Boykin, like, we literally said that he was like, we were going to trade him. Nobody's moved by trading for Miles Boykin. That wasn't going to happen. Like, no team was going to give up actual capital to take a trade for him. So that was just a whole mess in the first place. And we're talking about that. I mean, Chark 1 year, $10 million. I think I would have liked him here, but instead, I don't know what we're going to do with this receiver room.
Yeah. I mean, the Ravens have kind of showed you, like, time and time again that they really don't want to pay big money at wide receiver. They just don't, you know? And it's because of the type of offense that they run. So I can see why, you know, they don't want to go in that direction of getting even a relatively young receiver like DJ Chark. Because DJ Chark's only been in the league for how many years? Like,
I think that was his fourth year.
Yeah. So, I mean,
going to his fifth.
Right. He's probably coming up on a contract year, right?
Yeah, he got a 1 year prove-it deal.
Right, yeah.
Because he tore his ACL last year.
Right. So, I mean, I think they really want to go for the young talent there. And you can kind of see that even though they didn't get, you know, anybody in the draft, the undrafted free agents, they got tons of them. You know, they got like 4 or 5 of them, right?
Yeah,
I was looking up actually some stuff on Mekhi Polk earlier today. As you guys can see on my whiteboard right here, I put Polk for Prez. Hey, look, man, I think this guy could actually be one of those low-key dudes who comes up and starts making some noise for us, you know? We're talking about a 6'3" guy, great route runner, great hands, catches the ball with his hands away from his body, good red zone target. Hey, I mean, he had 1,000 yards last season. I like it.
So he's going to do good in the preseason. We're going to hear about him in training camp. We're going to make the roster. Then we're going to stash him on special teams. And he's not going to play at all. Remember that.
See, and this is where I would hope that, you know, T. Martin, Keith Williams have a say in things, you know?
Yeah, like,
if they see something in some of these younger guys, like, hey, put a bug in coach's ear, like, hey, this guy needs some playing time, right? Like, we didn't get these guys for no reason.
Actual, like, really, really good receivers like Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill.
Exactly. Trust their judgment. Like,
I mean, I think they know what's a good receiver because they got a receiver 1,000 yards in a run first offense.
Yeah, so. Exactly. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. We'll see what they decide to do with the wide receiving room. If they just kind of stick with the same lineup, of course, we'll have. Let's just kind of talk about the 6 wide receiver spots on the team.
Okay, we can do that. I'm cool with that. Love it.
Yeah. So, like, who would you think, like, in order is definitely a lock to make it?
Bateman, Duvernay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go Prochet and Wallace. All those 4.
Bateman, Duvernay, Prochet, Wallace. Okay.
And then, because I think did we carry 7 last year at one point? Or maybe because Boykin was on the IR. One of the two. Because no, Boykin and Bateman started off in the IR. Yeah. Because we had Watkins. So we had 5 or 6 on the opening day roster. I forget what it was. But I think we'll carry 6 and then probably have, obviously, practice squad call-ups. But
yeah. Dylan said we carried 7 all year last year.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to think of who it was then. Okay, those 4. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Watkins, Hollywood, and then. Okay, yeah, we did carry 7. Cool.
See, C-Test J says, I read most of the reps on the second day of rookie minicamp went to Devon Williams. I think that's I think he's like, what, 6'3" receiver?
Yeah.
Or like a 4'4", 4'5", something like that.
I guess it's the quarterback from Oregon throwing to them. Because I don't think Lamar's there.
Right, and I don't think either of them are there either. And then Sean Carter says here, Isaiah Likely make it as a tight end, but play wide out. A lot of people are really high on Isaiah Likely being able to come in and, you know, kind of be that tight end / wide receiver hybrid. I'm here for it. You know what type of offense the Ravens want to run. If they can develop him and implement him into the game plan well enough, so be it. You know,
We're
because
doing
we're
a
gonna need help.
reverse Darren Waller. Hopefully
Yeah,
it works.
yeah. We're gonna need help when it comes to pass catchers. So hope they're doing everything that they can. Kayla Sports agrees as well. Put Isaiah Likely at wide receiver.
Can I talk about something real quick that I think surprised me in the free
Sure.
agency? I think I saw a couple other people talking about it. How the free agents we had all got like 1 year prove it deals. No long term locks like we saw in past seasons for guys like Judon and Ngakwe, like all 1 year. Averett, who I thought played pretty good, thought he could have maybe gotten a 3 year deal. Elliott coming off the injury, Watkins, and then guys like Brandon Williams still unsigned. That's maybe do we overvalue these guys?
I don't think that we overvalue these guys. I mean, I think these guys they play really well in our system. You know,
Because it's the same Brandon Williams. We gave like 4 years, what, 50 mil? 40, 50 mil. I know we got a lot of money.
yeah.
And like now he's
yeah.
like nobody wants him, which is crazy. Yeah, and Taquan, correct. Bozeman on a 1 year, which I think should have gotten more than 1 year, by the way. I don't know how I got 1 year. That was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, but you look at like these guys, like you're talking about Avery, you're talking about Williams and stuff like that. These are all defensive players. You know, the Ravens have no problems at all opening up the checkbook for defense when it comes to defense. No problems. While other teams, you know, they are putting these guys, these same guys, on these 1 year prove it deals because they're pushing all their money into offense. You know, because that's just their philosophy. So I think that's where the difference is.
It seems
to work for some teams. You know,
should maybe take a page out of their book.
Maybe. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the live chat. Shout out to everybody in the live chat right now. 104
Having
people watching live.
Thank you.
Having you guys own conversations. We love it. Still chiming in here. It says, Zane Vid says, we got the best tight end in football too. So kill the Lamar's best target talk.
Oh, we've known.
Yeah, for sure.
Andrews is his favorite target, best target. And we're cool with that. Baller.
Yeah. Cavalier, kind of going back and forth with Jay here, says you guys are forgetting how dominant the run game was when everybody was healthy. Problem was in the playoffs, teams stuffed the box and challenged the wide receivers and Lamar. We need a legit number one. What do you think about that, Alex?
I mean, we've kind of been saying that too. Like, I think, and somebody else mentioned about stacking the box, and yeah, like the running game works in the regular season, but then in the playoffs, what happens?
Yeah,
the teams adjust, and I think the perfect with just that whole Titans game, and even the Chargers game when Morningwick was there, we didn't have like passing plays. It felt like, or if we did, they were just terrible. Like we just could never get a pass game going. And even in the one playoff win against the Titans, like we had to go to short throws to just get the passing game going. Like I remember there was a couple of screens to Hollywood, like 5 yard routes. He would get some yak one, and then the Bills game, drop passes, poor O-line play, just bad all around too.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that like I think is important to talk about here, and Cavalier brings up a good point. Like you can run your way throughout the entire regular season. You can lean on teams when it gets to the playoffs, like when, that nitty gritty, when teams really have that extra time, to prepare for you, and it's just like more urgent. Everything is more urgent. You have to be able to put pressure on teams through the air, passing the football. And I understand, like, that's why you need, like, a legitimate number one wide receiver. Because if you look at the 2019 season, we lost to the Titans in that playoff game. Like, there were, 7, 8 drops? Something like that? And you simply can't have that.
That video is playing in my head right now.
Yeah, exactly. You just, the worst one was that Seth Roberts one. Oh, my God.
That's 7. That's...
Yeah. I can't. Yeah. So, but... Yeah, that's why I think that Cavalier is right here. I mean, you do need a legit number one wide receiver, dude. And I think, I'm going to just say it right here, right now, I think Rashad Bateman will be that guy this year. I think he will be that guy.
Can you go and make your stamp? I've stamped 10 sacks. Go and make your stamp for Bateman right here. I'm
going to say Bateman over 1,100 yards, at least 8 touchdowns.
There we go.
I think it's going to be one of those seasons for him. I think Lamar and Rashad Bateman will establish a really good connection. You saw what he did in his rookie season.
I think the offseason training says so much more because it's the fact that they both realized that they didn't have that connection because he was limited with the injury last year in training camp, mini camp, all that. Getting that back together, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see it too, man. And I also think that Bateman is just like, I don't know. He's gonna come out there. He's gonna kind of play with a chip on his shoulder, kind of knowing that he is the guy. There's no Hollywood there anymore. No other, receiver that would be technically like kind of like ahead of him for that wide receiver one
It's all his.
stamp. So it's all his, exactly. We do have another super chat donation. This one coming in from our guy Gerald.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. We appreciate you for coming through, making it rain here on episode 110 of the Purple Rain podcast.
Happy
exactly. Yeah. Thank you for coming through, man. It says, do you see the Ravens using the same offensive scheme in the 2019-2020 season? This is interesting. This is very interesting, Gerald, because you're saying, are they going to run the same, 3 tight end sets, the heavy formation, that sort of thing? I think that they possibly could shift towards doing something like that again. Look at what they did in the draft. Heavy and tight ends. You know what I mean?
Words out my mouth.
Yeah. Heavy and tight ends.
All signs point to it with what they did in the draft. 100%. And actually, I want to go back on the whole Bateman thing. If he were to be number 1, I think there's a better chance of Greg Roman actually being fired, because I think of this sideline moment against the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. You know which moment I'm talking about?
I know which moment you're talking about.
When Lamar is pissed off and Bateman is right there, like, agreeing with him.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that before, ever. And I think those two are balling out and they're not getting the production that, let's say Bateman has a game where he puts up 150 and 2 touchdowns. He gets like 3 targets the next game. I definitely think there would be something going on up there. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, all it's going to take is one breakout game from Bateman for, then fans and everybody else who's watching football is not going to be able to get enough. It's like, why aren't you getting this guy the ball?
You could argue it was against the Browns last year. The 2 big plays over
those 2
corners.
big plays. Yeah,
Fourth down and third down, I think.
4th down, 3rd down. And I mean, just talking about how clutch, how good this guy is on 3rd down, or downs where you just have to convert something. You have to get some yards. Chain mover.
First like 8 to 10 catches, all first down.
It was a first down. He had 29 first downs or something like that, like something crazy like that in the limited amount of games he played, man. So like coming into his second season, yeah, I think he's going to be that guy. I think he's going to be that guy for us. All right. So I think now, since we've talked a good deal about Jarvis Landry, we've talked a good deal about Hollywood Brown, the wide receiving core, all this stuff. We've talked a lot about Ravens football.
Yeah, a little too much for my liking. I'll be honest.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's off season. You guys know we have to find different things to talk about, because there's not too much happening. But luckily, next episode, so episode 111, will be the schedule release. So we will be talking about season scenarios with the Ravens in this upcoming season. So you're going to want to make sure that you tune into that episode. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm actually excited for the preseason games. I always say, bro, I love preseason games.
Oh, yeah.
Because just like you get to see I saw a bunch of the starters last year. I didn't know that was going to be the starters, but getting to see just the depth. And I'm looking at the rookies too, our rookie corners. I think they can definitely make a name for themselves in the preseason. So it's like we always play Washington or Philadelphia in the preseason. You ever notice that? Always.
Yeah.
But just please, let's not go to FedEx Field again. Got bad memories there. Cool.
All right. So let's see. Let's go ahead. Let me see. My guy Shuku says, did you guys watch Canelo versus Bivol over the weekend? So, yeah, Canelo Alvarez, just lost basically for the first time, I think, since he lost to Floyd Mayweather, I want to say. It's been a long time since he lost, but he did lose on Saturday night. I think it was by a unanimous decision as well. I didn't watch the entire fight. I watched like the last 4 rounds of it. And the Bivol, or however you pronounce his name, he was definitely kind of putting it on him towards the end. But, it goes to show Canelo's, I guess, getting a little bit older. And some of these young, hungry guys, they're coming in and stepping up. But, yeah. Also,
should we just tell people to drop the questions now? Real quick?
Yeah, we might as well. All
right, cool.
Go ahead and get your questions in here. We're going to go ahead and start the Rain Gang questions segment.
Any and everything.
Any and everything. You can ask us about anything here. Let's see. Taquan Christian says, how about your Sixers, Sutton? Yeah, Sixers, they're doing really well right now. Since Embiid has been back, they've turned it around. Yeah, the masked Embiid. They've kind of turned it around since he's been back on the floor. Understandably so. They need their big man there. But It's gonna be tough, man. These next couple of games because I know they're going back to Miami, and the energy is gonna be totally different. It's gonna be totally different. It's 2-2 right now, but hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But Harden's got to be a little bit more consistent as well. But yeah, he played well last night. Boz has Heat in 7. Come on, Boz. Don't
Yeah,
do me
Boz
like
is
that.
Boz is a diehard Heat fan.
Oh man, I should have known. I should have known.
Yeah.
Let's see. Earl Tucker says, "Who replaces G-Ro?"
Me or Sutton. I'm playing. Realistically, it's gonna be probably in house. We don't really go out of. See, the whole Mike McDonald, that was still in house in my opinion. We basically groomed him, so yeah. I think it'll be in house. Either probably T Martin is definitely the best one because an offensive freaking team in the Bills wanted to interview him for offensive coordinator, so I think that's the one.
Yeah. Let's see. Void says, "Alex, can you make a Super Gremlin video on Marquise Brown?"
Not happening. Not happening. Not happening, boy.
Oh my god,
I love for
that'd
him.
be hilarious.
Couldn't do that.
Oh man, Kaylee Sports says, "Alex, what are your thoughts on the Bulls? I think we need interior defense and health."
Bro, I miss seeing Lonzo Ball out there. You don't understand. It hurt. Like those Bucks games, watching them. I was at a dinner actually watching the Bucks Bulls. Like I think it was game 3. Yes, Boz. I was depressed, man. I was like, they won. No, they won. Yeah, they won game 2. I'm like, okay, we didn't. Got blown out.
Yeah.
So yes, I do agree. Sucked.
All right, let's see. Next question. This one's gonna be coming from Dylan. Says, "You guys watch hockey? Caps are gonna upset the 1 seed." Actually, no, I haven't been watching hockey. I've been keeping up with that.
Hockey playoff. I'm more in the NBA playoffs right now, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm kind of locked into the NBA playoffs right now. It's really intense. Really intense. Who plays tonight, actually? Pretty sure there's a game on tonight.
Not too sure.
Yeah.
But
Let's see.
speaking of things over the weekend, real quick, let's get into it.
Okay.
UFC.
Ooh,
Talk about it real quick.
Yeah. UFC card just happened this weekend. Main event
Great.
was Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. Great main event. Not all the fights on the card were great.
Yeah. I know which one we're talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, the couple fights that were on there, they were actually pretty good. So Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje, that fight was kind of poetic to me, like how Charles Oliveira won that. He, as you guys, some of you guys probably know, had to forfeit the belt before the fight because he missed weight by 1/2 a pound.
That's crazy.
1/2 a pound, which is crazy.
It's
so
crazy
he had
the hour. He had an hour and couldn't get
yeah.
stick.
But
your
even
fingers down
still,
your throat,
though,
like throw up. I mean, listen.
I just feel like to strip him of his belt is a little bit harsh. You can fine the guy, sure. Like fine him, 30% of his purse for the fight. Like take that from him. But like don't take away his belt though. Don't strip him of the belt. He didn't deserve that. It doesn't make sense because these guys weigh in at a certain weight a whole day before the fight. But the second that they're done weighing in, they immediately go and put another 10 or 15 pounds on before they fight. So it's like, what does it matter if he weighs in a 1/2 pound overweight? I get rules are rules, but it just seemed kind of harsh. Don't take the man's belt, just fine him or something. But the fight itself was good though. You saw it?
I did. I mean, I was like, okay, Gaethje's back in his hometown. Like, had his family there. I'm like, okay. And then the fight started. Oh boy, Oliveira, like, that's a bad man. He's
good.
Bad man.
He's good, dude. I mean, remember I was telling you like how like he fights with no glasses on, but he wears glasses.
Yeah,
of course. Like and like he's seeing like 3 people at one time,
bro.
like at all times.
I guess when you're on the ground, you they're right in front of you.
Exactly, it doesn't matter. And it was funny because if you watch the fight, like Justin Gaethje actually dropped him twice.
Yeah,
he dropped him twice. But you saw Gaethje did not want any parts of the ground game. It was so wild to see. Like he would drop him and then just let him get back up every time. And that's not uncommon for Justin Gaethje to do, but he did it multiple times, man. And like Oliveira got back up. He went at Gaethje on the feet, dropped him with his own shot, and then immediately went down to the wrestling and choked him out, man. It was really, really cool to watch. I would love to see him versus Khabib. I want to see Khabib come back, man.
That's your dream fight?
That's my dream fight, dude. That's my dream fight. Because Khabib's never fought anybody who would invite the wrestling and the ground game like that. So it'd be pretty cool to see. But the other fight, though,
The highlight of the night. I think you gotta talk about it.
the other fight, man, Michael Chandler versus Tony Ferguson. Chandler went out there and just blew the roof off the place, man.
That
Yeah, dude. Second round, front kick to the chin, man. Straight to the chin flush.
Conor McGregor said he turned him into a chicken nugget. Photoshopped a chicken nugget on his face.
Bro, it was bad, man. Like he looked like he was like 80 years old, bro.
Yeah.
In that still shot, bro. It was bad. I don't know if you guys saw that fight over the weekend. That knockout was wild. Yeah, Shuku.
Yeah.
For sure. That was crazy to see. I don't know if Michael Chandler will be fighting Conor McGregor next, because he did call him out afterwards. I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was good time. But actually, I think what kind of got me pumped up too is that the UFC fights they announced like during the card, with one
Yeah.
Israel Adesanya fighting again. I'm actually really pumped for that. I love watching him fight. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely.
Israel Adesanya, he's really good. And I saw they did say he was going to be fighting Jared Cannonier. But I mean, to me, I can already see the way that fight's going to go. Jared Cannonier is not really the most technical of guys. He's more just like kind of like a powerhouse, and he's looking to land a big shot on you. And Israel Adesanya, he's like the perfect type of fighter to, beat that style of fighting. He's a counter puncher, counter striker in general, and I feel like he can kind of pick him apart. But I mean, he's already beaten everybody in the division, so it's like, who else does he have to fight?
Right.
But it'll be cool to see him fight again. But all right, let's go ahead and see. Let's take a couple more questions, then we'll get out of here. Let's see what you guys are saying here. My guys are chatting up about Bateman and Lamar Jackson in the
Have
chat.
a nice
Okay,
little conversation. Loved it.
yeah. My guy Don C says, Sutton and Alex, are you guys worried about middle linebacker as much as I am?
I don't think I am as much. If we do keep Chuck Clark, I think he'll be in the box. I know Mike McDonald likes to play guys in the box, and he makes the defense easier for middle linebacker. So I'm actually not as worried as I think I would be if it was a guy like Wink at defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, I think that Mike McDonald, I'm actually really excited to see what he has in store for this Ravens defense, man, especially just considering the things that he was able to do, producing the amount of sacks with his defense last year in Michigan, man. Aiden Hutchinson and David Ajabo, they ate up in his system.
Yeah.
So I really want to see what our outside linebackers can do and how kind of like our middle linebackers can feed off of that as well. So, yeah, to answer that question.
It's like a breath of fresh air with Mike McDonald coming in, because you don't know what you're going to get, unlike on the offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Okay. Justin Roberts says, tell me why the Ravens don't have the best roster if everybody is healthy and rookies live up to the hype. The best roster if everybody's healthy.
For a lot of teams. I mean,
yeah.
I think the Bills have a better roster than us, just with what they've done with free agency. But yeah, I mean, if everybody were to pan out, then yeah. But yeah.
Let's see. Jonathan Washington Jr. here says, Prochet is not the guy you guys think he is. I think Duvernay can contribute more, but that's about it.
I think Prochet is a move the chains guy. Prochet's not going to be, like a guy out there mossing people. Well, he mossed a guy in preseason, but that's preseason. But I think he's a chain mover. I'm not expecting him to put up 1,000 yards, but definitely can make some clutch plays, 100%.
Right. I mean, I think that Prochet could definitely be more of like a red zone threat, if they utilize him like that. Because, I mean, he's got hands for days. He can catch in traffic. He's tough as hell. Like, I don't know. I don't see why we wouldn't utilize him more down there in the red zone. Now, Duvernay, I can say he can contribute a little bit more because of what he does on special teams as well. But, I don't think we should. I don't think Prochet is not that guy.
Yeah.
I can't really say that because he really hasn't had the opportunity,
Every time the ball has been thrown to him, like
he
catches
gets it right.
That's my
yeah.
thing. Like
I can't be mad at that.
when he gets a chance, he takes him. So
Right.
it's definitely a tough thing to have because he just hasn't been given the chance, and when he's given the chance, he'll do something with it.
Yeah. Let's see. Our guy Gerald here says, sudden death and simply, you two know how I feel about Bateman. Like most of us here, message 12 Bateman over 1,000 yards. Yeah, I'm thinking 1,100, man. I'm thinking 1,100 yards.
I like
Bateman.
it. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
1,100.
Let's see. Zane Viz will end it with this. Says, who is the weakest link on the team right now? I don't know about who is the weakest link, but like what position?
Oh, I was gonna say the guy up in the skybox calling the plays. That was my weakest link. Or whoever, maybe the strength and conditioning coach, depending if things change. That too.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to go with like a position group, that's like the weakest link on the team right now. As of right now,
I can go. I'll go with cornerbacks personally because you got two guys coming off of injury, got rookies.
Yeah.
Definitely kind of worrying for me, but if Peters and Humphrey come back 100%, then I don't know what it would be. That's just.
Yeah, I would probably say cornerback as well. I think that we actually did a pretty good job at addressing the defensive line in the offseason, whether it be draft or free agency. But DB, yeah, we got safeties is good to go, but cornerbacks we could definitely use a few more. So I can agree with that for sure.
And Devontae says linebackers. I can understand why you're saying linebackers. I for some reason think we're gonna bring LJ Ford back. Honestly, just for some, I think we'll bring him back.
Yeah, I can see linebacker as well. I'm not gonna lie, I can see linebacker too, but I feel like that is a position that'll get better too.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Let's see. Justin Roberts also says hit the like button for my guys. Yes, absolutely. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here for this episode 110 of the Purple Rain podcast. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Make sure again you leave a like button, on this video, and then also subscribe to the channel as well for more content soon. Now listen, guys. Thursday's episode will be the scheduled release. So season scenarios, we're gonna be talking all about it. Make sure you're locked into this channel.
Primetime games.
We're gonna be waiting for you guys. Oh my God.
Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night.
And they're already leaking some here and there, so you might know before the stream. But we're gonna
make a prediction. Make a bold prediction right now. One game, predict it right now.
I'm gonna say us against the Titans on Monday Night Football.
Wait, did we play the Titans this year?
Do we? Don't we?
Do we?
Because we didn't play them the last 2 seasons, no? Or last season?
We played them 2020.
Oh, okay. So okay, cool. Is it I know it's the Titans or the Bills. I know we played one of those.
We played
teams.
the Bills.
Okay, yeah.
Oh God, yeah. We played the Bills.
I'm gonna say the Bills. Bills is definitely gonna be prime time. I think it's gonna be Monday Night Football. Yeah.
I think we open up the season against a division rival. That's my. But I'll go even more in depth. You said Monday night for the Ravens Bills. I'm gonna go Ravens Buccaneers, Brady Lamar, Sunday Night Football, run it back.
That should be entertaining. I'm gonna love that. Yeah. So this has been episode 110 of the Purple Rain podcast. With that being said, I'm gonna let my guy Alex take us out for the evening.
Thank you for coming through to episode 110 of the Purple Rain podcast. Looking forward to the next episode. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
Never, ever, ever, ever forget to call God. This has been episode 110 of PR.